Welcome back to another video. We are doing a studio tour of all the equipment that I use to create videos like this and my regular VR content. One thing right off the bat, I bought all of these with my own money and nobody has sent me anything or sponsored this video. But this video is supported by those of you who help me on Patreon. A link to the Patreon will be down below. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. So right off the bat, this is the big old light that powers everything. This is the this is the Aperture 200D. This thing costs around, the body alone just for this costs around, I think $200 or $300. For the light dome will cost another $150, and the stand also to support the weight also has, I believe costs me around $100 for the stand alone. As you can see, I have a lot of paneling around the room, so it gives you a pretty good there isn't going to be much echo. Of course, the entire room isn't going to be acoustically treated, so there's going to be still a little bit of echo that you can probably hear in the audio. Plus, I'm using a new microphone that I haven't used with this camera before. So speaking of camera, this is where it usually sits, right here, facing this direction. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with this corner. This is where my camera, which is the Canon SL3, sits on top of this thing right here, and then it just pretty much lives there all the time. And it's connected to the wall via dummy battery, so it never dies. And let's move on to the audio solution that I use, which is this thing right here, the Rode Mic NTG. It's a fantastic microphone. I use it in all my talking headshot videos, and this is connected to a field recorder, the Zoom H1N, which is a little bit busted up because I've had it for years. And this is sitting on a clamp that is on to a regular, just a cheap stand. This is the light that I use to give me that edge light, and it kind of separates me from the background a little bit more. So it's an RGB tube light for anybody who was wondering. It's by Habigis. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I can turn it to any color that I want. You can adjust the brightness, you can all that stuff. So I'm gonna just get this off for now. This costing me around $100. I'm not for sure. This is where everything I use for the video projection itself is. I have a teleprompter right here that I just got to start using, and it works really great with my camera. You can also use it for phone, and it just makes video production a lot more professional sounding and looking. And right next to that, I have the Bobo M1 battery, which I use for my Quest 2, obviously. It's a really great, solution. I just picked up this color palette. It's called the Spider Checker. What this allows me to do, basically, let's say if my video is too much of a green tint or a magenta tint, I can color correct that in post-production, making my colors not only look better, but I can also, it'll also make color grading a lot simpler and easier and more efficient in the long run. Right next to that, I have the Antlion mod mic, which is what I use for all of my VR videos. I don't know if you can see. Let me bump up my ISO real quick. I use the Antlion mod mic. I love this microphone. Right next to that, I have this lens. It's a telephoto lens. I'm pretty sure it's a 70 to 300. I never ever use this for video because it's way too long of a lens for any type of video that I do. But if you wanted to shoot like portraits, or if you wanted to do like photography, it's a relatively affordable lens, and it's pretty decent quality. So the Canon this is the Canon T5i with the 18 to 55 millimeter lens. It is on top of a battery pack that is connected to my gimbal. This entire setup costs around, I think, $1,000, if not more. The Canon T5i costs around, I think, $600 when I picked it up on Amazon, and this cost around $500. So a little bit more than $1,000 for the setup, but it's a really great setup. And if you are into professional videography, this is something I would recommend. The gimbal is really fantastic to use, and it's so easy to set up and everything like that. So for my first microphone, I use the Rode Video Micro. It's a great microphone. It sits on top of the camera, obviously, and it just plugs directly into the camera. No batteries required. No charging at all, and it automatically just turns on when you turn the camera on. It turns off when you turn the camera off, and it's great sounding for $60. And I love this microphone. If you're looking for a cheap microphone that you want to use for talking headshots, this is definitely something I would recommend. Behind that, I have my camera monitor. It's got a bunch of, I just used it today, so it's got a bunch of finger marks in it, but I don't know what brand this is. I forget what brand. It's a 4K monitor, and it has the ability to have a microphone or something attached to the side of it. You can swivel it back and forth. I usually just do 1080p streaming and there's no latency whatsoever. It's really great for, I think, around 150 bucks, I think. Let's move on to the Quest itself. Let me just brand this down a little bit. So I have the Quest 2 for my VR headset, and obviously I have some sort of attachment. I use the Kiwi design grips. I have the Bubble M1 Plus, which is a great piece of equipment for your head strap. I have the Q, I don't remember the name of it, but I have the fan that goes right on top of it, and this thing is powerful. You feel it on your face when you're playing VR, and I personally really love that. But I have these globe lights that I use for all my videos, and these are fantastic. This one in particular I just got. It's RGB, you can change the color. You can't have any of this without having a PC to edit on, and it has the Ryzen 7 5800X 3D. It has 64 gigabytes of RAM, and the graphics card is the RTX 3080 by EVGA, and it's a powerful PC that can handle VR and editing. All of that, of course, will be in the description if you guys are interested in checking that out. If you guys like the video, you know what to do. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, for Try Check Yourself,